coming with me whether you want to or not.
Are you ready for tales of wonder?
Reports of unknown flying objects over there.
Mysteries and horror.
Satanism, necromancy, alchemy, witchcraft, worship, Satan.
Conspiracies that dazzle the mind.
The mystic moment has arrived.
Here are your hosts for this expedition, Cameron and Kobe. Just don't tell anyone what you are about to hear, because this podcast is a secret.
Oh man, Cam.
Man.
I don't think I've been this
mysterious.
excited in a long time.
I know. It's been in the works for a while.
It has.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this stuff.
Dude, I am too.
And get into it.
Yeah,
Get
and
all
so
the good details.
There's a lot of people who don't know us, so we probably have to introduce us to the folks who are listening or watching. My name is Kobe.
Yep.
My co-host over here, this dapper young gentleman, is Cameron.
Yes.
Right? And so in this podcast, we're going to dive into the rabbit hole of conspiracies, mysteries, and like all of the weirdest crap that we can scrape together from the internet.
Seriously.
To your ear holes.
Yeah.
Right?
What's more interesting than the paranormal stuff?
I don't know, man. Probably
Ghosts.
nothing. Yeah.
My favorite, UFOs, extraterrestrials.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the government secrets too. There are tons of them.
There's a lot.
We're going to peek behind those shadowy curtains. And then cryptids. I love talking about Bigfoot. I mean, that's probably what made us famous, right?
That's what made us,
something.
Like
it made us
D-list
something
famous, yeah.
But yeah, Bigfoot, Chupacabra, and all his weirdo friends. We're going to talk about all of them on here. Yeah. And we're going to give you the good stories.
We really
witnesses, all that stuff.
And so just to give you a taste of a few episodes that are upcoming.
Yeah.
How about Bigfoot? Again, that's one of the granddaddies of them all is Bigfoot. Skinwalker Ranch. You know, just around the corner from us is Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep, and there's been Bigfoot sightings here too. So we're in the heart of it all.
How about the mysteries of the insane story that is DB Cooper?
It's one of my favorites.
Coming up,
so cool
in an upcoming episode. So please stick around, hit subscribe, get weird with us because that's what we like to do.
Yep.
And we're really going to get weird today because
for sure
we are diving into the fascinating topic of the Mothman.
The
legend that is the Mothman. And we kind of start that journey with a guy named John Keel. This dude was an American journalist. He was a ufologist. He's best known for his investigations into paranormal phenomena, and that's including the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant, West Virginia during the 1960s. He was a pivotal figure in all of that. But his research was wide. It was UFOs, it was cryptids, it was psychic phenomena. But the thing that he really loved, the thing that he really got off on, I tell you, was those government conspiracies. Like he was all
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, he loved
Everybody
that stuff.
loves a little government conspiracy. We're making our own nowadays, so.
We are, yeah. But he wrote several books. One of them was The Mothman Prophecies. We have it here. This is this kind of documented his experience in Point Pleasant during the time that the Mothman was doing his thing, right? And a lot of the stuff we talk about today is going to come directly from this book. But the cool thing is I actually found a speech that Mr. Keel gave. It was either 1966 or 1967. It was kind of vague, but this was right after some of those sightings of Mothman. And so we're going to listen to that.
This is great.
This is going to get you into the mood, Cam. The following is an excerpt from a lecture given in 1967 by John Keel, author of The Mothman Prophecies.
Now, last night we started off the Long John show with my discussion of the Mothman, which probably many of you had never heard of this case, although this case was carried on the wire services. It was widely published in every state in the country. And there have been constant sightings of this creature down there. The Mothman is from 6 to 7 feet tall. He has 2 large red eyes, 2 inches in diameter. Now, all of the witnesses say the same thing. He has a wingspread of 10 feet. The Mothman has pursued automobiles on a number of occasions and has reached speeds up to 100 miles an hour, scaring the daylights out of the drivers. Some of the witnesses down there now say that they have heard the sound of some kind of motor, humming sound is the object. passes over their head. So possibly this thing is propelled by something. The wings do not move when it's in flight. When this creature is standing on the ground, his wings are folded back. Now we have over 100 reports of Mothman, and more coming in every week. So there's not really much reason to doubt that he exists. He sounds unlikely, but there is something like this down there, and I'm sure anxious to find out what it is. And we may be able to get to the bottom of this one particular case and find out whether Mothman is mechanical or an angel or what he is.
Man, there is not much I love more than old audio clips.
I don't know what it is.
It gets you, like, you're just like, it's so real.
It is
so
man.
much better.
It is so much better. And so that was John talking about this
During that time, right?
As it's happening, basically. So that's so cool.
That's so awesome.
The where this story takes place
Yep.
is Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yeah. So Point Pleasant's a very small town, and it's in the it's a city in Mason County, West Virginia, at the confluence of the Ohio and Kanawha rivers.
Okay.
The population around the 60s was about 5,500. Today, it's actually less, around 4,500. Still very small.
Dwindling, huh?
It's got two big rivers right by it.
Yeah.
And connecting Point Pleasant, West Virginia to Ohio is the Silver Bridge. It was built in 1928, officially named Point Pleasant Bridge. It was popularly known as the Silver Bridge for the color of its aluminum paint. So,
All right.
also of importance in this area, 5 miles north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, is the Clinton F. McClintock Wildlife Management Area. Got to remember that.
Good crap.
Known locally as the TNT area.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah.
Called the TNT area because during World War II, that region, more than 8,000 acres, so it's massive, was devoted to an ammunition manufacturing facility that employed a few thousand people at the time. For safety reasons, the explosives were stored in bunkers or igloos,
Okay.
so they call it back then, strategically scattered across the territory and disguised by thick layers of earth. So it's just a weird area. It's got these mounds, and it's kind of swampy. I mean, perfect for like a scary movie.
It feels like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Old
Mothman.
50s, 40s, like,
If you're going to breed a Mothman, that's where you're going to do it.
Yeah,
I think, right?
That's exactly. It's just evolved out of that.
So there's just like explosives and stuff scattered
I know.
in
Yeah.
these little
Yeah.
bunkers throughout there.
I-
How
like-
crazy is that?
If I grew up there, I would be there all the time.
Oh, 100%. You
Let's
would have
go
blown
over there.
something up.
Let's go find some bombs or something.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So let's talk about some of the first sightings of the Mothman. So November 12th, 1966, we believe that this in that area was the very first time the Mothman was seen. But this actually wasn't in Point Pleasant. This was in Clendenin.
Yeah, there was a lot
West Virginia.
going on in West Virginia
Yeah.
in the 60s.
It was like the whole state.
So, wasn't all just happening
Yeah.
in Pleasant.
So
Point Pleasant.
this story here is actually pretty funny. 5 grave diggers were out doing their thing. What are they going to be doing on a November 12th scary night? They're going to be digging graves, okay? They reported encountering a bizarre creature they described as a brown human being with wings. All right?
That's different.
That is different. Yeah, I mean, that would probably scare you.
Yeah.
The creature reportedly emerged from a nearby wooded area and flew over their heads, obviously causing panic and fear among the grave diggers.
Yeah, that would do it.
I mean, you're out at night digging a grave. It's scary enough.
I know. Even like a dove is going to creep you
A
out.
phaasant comes by, I'm probably freaked out.
Seriously, every time.
But a brown human being with wings flies over my head. I'm going to take notice. My heart rate's
Yeah.
going to raise. It's going to be
The fear is going to go up a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. So this is what we kind of think as the beginning of the strange encounters with what was later known. It wasn't Mothman at that point.
Yeah.
3 days later, this was probably the most famous sighting of the Mothman. November of 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. 2 young couples out on a night on the town.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Roger and Linda Scarberry, right? And Steve and Mary Millette. They went on a nighttime drive through the TNT area, just like Cam said he would be doing, in Roger's 1957 Chevy. I mean, gosh, it sounds awesome.
Yeah,
already.
it does. It does.
You got some 50s rock.
Let's go
blaring.
look at some
Yeah.
mounds out here.
What kind of mounds are you talking about? No, that their aim was to find friends. They were out there just like, it's like cruising the boulevard like
Yeah,
they used
exactly.
to do in Ogden, right? But the roads were kind of empty that evening, eerily empty. As they meandered through the winding back roads near an old generator plant, Linda suddenly gasped. And I don't know if this was normal for Linda or if this is like a new thing, but she got freaked out. They all looked into the darkness and spotted two bright red circles, about 2 inches in diameter and 6 inches apart.
Yeah, that's
so,
weird.
Feels like weird eyes to me of a demon. Like, that's what I'm thinking the second I see something like that. Roger slammed on his brakes, and they were all hypnotized by these eyes out in the darkness. Roger said it was shaped like a man, but bigger. Maybe 6.5 or 7 feet tall, had big wings folded against its back. But Linda said it was those eyes that got us. It had 2 big eyes like automobile reflectors. They were hypnotic. For a minute, we could only stare at it. We couldn't take our eyes off.
Yeah,
of it.
I
Freak you out, right?
You just stare at it the whole time.
Sure, yeah. The creature, grayish in color. So the other one was brown. This one was gray.
Yeah,
it's dark.
it definitely gets a little mixed up.
It's dark, though.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Walked towards the generator plant's ajar door. Its sturdy man-like legs carrying it slowly. So it had man-like legs. Roger, overcome with fear, hit the gas. They sped away, only to see the creature again standing on a small hill near the road.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so it's there again.
Just like watching them?
Yeah. It spread its wings and took off straight up into the air. So that's the thing that freaks me out.
Yeah.
It doesn't flap its wings. It just goes.
No. It just, multiple reports
Yeah.
talk about that. Just like
it's
straight
just
up in the air.
It's like the wings are just there to look scary. I don't know what it's doing with the wings.
On a cable.
Yeah.
It just gets pulled up.
Exactly. It's following us, she cried, as they raced down Route 62 at a speed of 100 miles per hour, with the creature effortlessly just keeping pace with them.
Man.
They couldn't get away from this thing. Even stranger, as they're racing away at 100 miles an hour, they see a dead dog on the side of the road. That's sad, but it gets even weirder because they return minutes later and that dog was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that probably a little bit later, I think.
Yeah.
So terrified, obviously, of this creature's red eyes, and they rush into town to the Mason County Courthouse, and they talk to Deputy Millard Halstead. And he said, I've known these kids all their lives. He said, I'd never been in any trouble. They were really scared that night, and I took them seriously. So, accompanied by Halstead, they returned to the TNT area, found no trace of the creature or the dead dog.
That's
dead
weird.
dog's gone
That's
now.
weird.
I don't know what's going on here.
It wasn't dead.
Feels weird.
was it?
Maybe he was just sleeping on the side of the road. They should have stopped and helped the poor thing. However, they did encounter a bizarre radio interference. So this kind of added to the surrounding mystery of this whole thing. They get in there, the radios aren't working.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that stuff that kind of floats around with the Mothman, like interference and noises.
For some reason,
right?
It seems to give off a little
Yeah.
EMP type pulse or something.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. But the next morning, Sheriff George Johnson, perfect sheriff
These
name.
names are great.
Perfect. He called a press conference, and the story spread like wildfire through the West Virginia forest. Local reporters interviewed the witnesses, and Mary Heyer, and she was of the local newspaper, she sent this story out on the AP wire. So it just went everywhere. And Mary is going to be a central figure of our story
she is,
today,
for sure.
too. So drawing comparisons to Batman from the popular TV series of the day, an anonymous copy editor tagged the creature Mothman.
That's where it got its name.
So
I
it's
always
just-
wondered where it got its name.
Yeah, because it really doesn't look like a moth
No. And
necessarily.
some have said it's like feathers and black and
Yeah.
it's red and it doesn't spread its wings.
brown,
so it's like,
gray,
Yeah.
flies,
It's weird stuff.
red eyes.
But,
Anyways,
yeah, that's probably the best encounter.
it is. Yeah.
But there are others. And so I wanted to talk to you about a few of those.
Okay.
So Newell Partridge, a local building contractor who lived in Salem, was watching television when the screen suddenly went dark.
That pisses you off.
Yeah,
When that
yep.
happens.
He stated that weird pattern kind of filled the screen, and he heard a loud whining noise, kind of like that generator sound that you were talking about.
Yep.
He heard that noise, and it kind of just made him a little nervous and his dog. So they went out onto the porch to see what was going on. And the dog, a trained hunting dog, was just
Of course.
growling and looking over towards the shed, and he kind of panned his flashlight around, and there he saw the same thing, 2 large red eyes staring back at him. He said it looked like, to me, it's bicycle reflectors.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like these big, abnormally large. They didn't look
Yeah.
like eyes, but they were. And so, pretty creeped out. He started to go back inside, but Bandit, his dog, took off after it.
First of all, Great dog name.
No, yeah, Bandit's a great name.
Dog name.
It really
like
is.
that's like if I ever get another dog, Bandit. I'm going with Bandit. It's a good name.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Bandit shot off across the yard going after this
course he
monster with glowing eyes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Partridge, she's kind of creeped out. So he went back inside and he grabbed his gun. First thing I'd do too, you know.
I'm not
If
going
you're
out on
scared-
the porch
Yeah.
without my gun the first time.
I would probably be out on the porch with the gun already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
exactly.
Mhm.
Or maybe he just grabbed it off his porch because that's probably where most had it.
They're just hanging out by the rocking chair on
Yeah.
the front porch. It was a shotgun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he grabs his gun and he actually is too afraid to go back outside.
Really?
So he's kind of hollering for his dog, but old Bandit never came back.
Oh.
He slept with his gun next to his bed that night.
Did he really?
Just terrified about it.
And Bandit never came back?
Bandit never came back.
Oh my gosh.
A couple of days go by and still no Bandit. And he's kind of freaked out, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
It wasn't until that day he looked at the, like a couple of days later, he read an article in the newspaper talking about this creature that people had been seeing.
Yeah.
One in particular was Roger Scarberry, one member of the group who spotted this strange bird
So
at
he
the
was-
TNT plant.
Okay, he was the first guy with his wife or whatever.
Oh, that was him,
right?
yeah.
That's him.
So
yeah.
he'd read this story,
Yep.
and in that story, like you said,
Yeah.
there was a dog.
That's
And
right.
There was a dog when they saw, and on the way back out, it was gone.
Was
And
that Bandit?
That's what this guy believes, is that it was Bandit. He
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
and his dog never did turn back up. So,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
so yeah, he thinks it was his dog.
Mothman stole Bandit.
Yeah. So they don't know what he did with the dog, but
Okay.
that was kind of a creepy story.
That is super creepy.
Another encounter, November 16th. There's a lot going on this night.
There is, yeah.
So this is when a lot of people saw it.
Mm.
The creature was again spotted flying around the home of Ralph Thomas.
Ralph.
And they described it as a funny red light.
That's a funny red light
In the sky that moved around and hovered above the TNT plant. Miss Marcella Bennett, a friend of the Thomas family who was also with him or had seen it, she said it wasn't a plane, but we couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah,
Miss
I like
Bennett
it noise.
drove to the Thomas house a few minutes later and got out of her car with her baby.
Yeah.
And I did figure out, I was going to mention the baby is actually like 4 years old. Because let me tell you why.
Okay.
Suddenly, a figure stirred around the automobile as if it was laying on the ground when she pulled up. It kind of just popped up, freaked her out.
Good
she
Lord,
drops her
Mothman.
baby.
She dropped the
That's
baby?
why I had to look into that. I'm like, she dropped her baby on its head? No, it was a 4-year-old. She was like carrying like this kind of older kid and dropped him down. But then she gathered herself. She picks up the kid and she runs to the Thomas house.
Yeah, maybe don't call your 4-year-old a baby.
I know. I
At
thought
that
it was
point.
weird. I was like, oh, I don't
That's
know
like
if I
people
want
will
to share
say,
that.
How old's your kid?
You guys told a story and I didn't like it.
812 months old. It's like, what?
I don't know, like back in the backwoods, she's probably breastfeeding that 4-year-old.
She probably is. And the dog was being breastfed too. You never know.
So anyway, she gets into the Thomas house,
Yeah.
and they're in there pretty terrified because they both witnessed this creature kind of flying around. They call the police, but by the time the police show up, it's not there.
Sure. Yeah.
She did mention too, while they were in that house, she felt the presence of something walking around the porch, kind of trying to peer into the windows.
Right.
So they were all pretty freaked out. But when the police showed up, there was nothing there. Miss Bennett, actually, she would not recover from this incident. You know, she was real distraught. She had to seek medical attention for her anxieties. She was tormented by it.
Kept dropping babies.
She kept seeing those red eyes, man.
Yeah.
She kept seeing those red eyes. And she said also around her home, she continued to hear like keening sound, like a woman screaming often. So,
I'm moving. I am moving.
but I never read of anything or any abductions, so I don't know who that was.
I don't know. But if
But
I
she-
hear a screaming woman around my house often and I don't know why, and I live out in the woods of West Virginia,
Yeah, thick trees. And,
Yeah, I'm
no,
selling
no,
that
thank
house.
you. I'm out. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's why the population went down.
probably, yeah.
So, yeah, that was her story. Once again, November 16th, a businessman reports seeing a bird-like creature with 10-foot wingspan flying over Route 62 near Point Pleasant. So,
Okay.
another encounter during that night of the 16th. Later, November 20th, 1966, 5 teenagers driving along Campbell's Creek got the shock of their lives when their headlights bounced off a man-sized bird-like creature standing beside a rock quarry. It turned around and it scurried into the woods. Nobody believes us because we're teenagers, Brenda Jones of Point Lick, I don't know, complained. It was real scary.
Point Lick?
An elderly businessman in Point Pleasant found Mothman standing on his front lawn. He stepped outside to see why his dog was barking and confronted a 6 to 7 foot tall gray apparition with flaming eyes.
What?
Multiple people
Yeah.
saw this thing, you know. over the course of a few days.
So he's just hanging out on his lawn.
Yep.
What did he do?
He
know what I
staggered
mean?
back into his house is what it says.
Okay.
He was so pale and shaking, his wife thought he was having a heart attack.
Well, yeah, you might.
He was pretty freaked out.
Yeah.
So, from the Mothman Prophecies book, everyone now was seeing Mothman or that bird-like creature. Sightings were reported in Mason, Lincoln, Logan, Kanawha, and Nicholas counties. So throughout West Virginia,
All over the place.
people were spotting this bird-like creature.
Yeah.
They were traveling hundreds of miles to see it. You know, people wanted to get a little glimpse of that red-eyed creature.
Yeah,
I would. I know I would.
I would too. So they were all coming, and like they said, the TNT area was just like
Booming.
filled with cars.
Yeah.
like it was like they were having a car show out there or something.
That's awesome.
But people were just trying to see the Mothman.
Yeah.
like it was that
I would.
popular.
If there were that many reports of
Yeah.
it, I'm going there for sure. I
100%.
want to see it.
yeah.
So that was what was happening.
Okay.
The thing is, like, was this the first time the Mothman had ever appeared or something like it? Has there ever been reports before this? Actually, there have been. So,
Okay.
Brooklyn, New York, 1877 to 1880. A man in black haunted the area, they say.
Okay.
He had wings and performed aerial acrobatics over the heads of the crowds of sunbathers at Coney Island. So this dude was
Oh my
like
gosh.
pulling tricks. Maybe he was like testing out that suit
Yeah.
to soon. I mean, this is a long time later though.
Wow.
But anyways, yeah. Mr. W.H. Smith first reported these strange flights in a letter to the New York Sun, September 18th, 1877. The creature was not a bird, but a winged human of form.
I'm Mr. W.H. Smith, and I
W.H. Smith.
attest to what I saw.
What I saw was a winged human form.
Oh my
This
gosh,
flying man became a local sensation, and according to the New York Times, September 12th, 1880, many reputable persons saw him as he was engaged in flying toward New Jersey.
Wow.
I just liked it. It was like, looks like it's flying straight over to New Jersey.
He's going to get to New Jersey by nightfall, no doubt.
But yeah, super interesting. Another episode where they think that they saw something similar to this was before the craze of flying saucers and scare in Washington in 1947.
Sure.
So a group of 16 people in San Diego, California witnessed a strange phenomenon.
16 people. That's a big...
That's a lot. That's a lot to
Yeah.
confirm each other's stories,
For
right?
sure, yeah.
They were gathered on the rooftop to watch a meteor shower the night of October 9th, 1946, when a bluish white winged object appeared in the sky. They said the strange object was certainly no airplane, one witness told Harold T. Wilkins. The wings which moved were too wide for any bird. Indeed, they were rather like the wings of a butterfly.
Oh, okay.
The whole object emitted a red glow. So again, it's not like it's flapping and moving
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Others have said it looks like swimming, which is a
yeah,
weird.
I saw some of those accounts as well.
Yep.
Yep.
And then one other episode, Ohio River Valley, another startled pair had even more breathtaking experience. A woman prominent in civic affairs in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, was driving on Route 2 along the Ohio River when her elderly father, as they passed through a sector on the edge of the park known as Chief Cornstalk Hunting Grounds. I hope that's still there today.
Dude.
A tall man-like figure suddenly appeared on the road in front of him. I slowed down, she told me years later, and as we got closer, we could see that it was much larger than a man.
Oh, I like that.
A big gray figure,
Yeah.
and it stood in the middle of the road. Then a
Okay.
pair of wings unfolded from its back, and they
No.
practically filled the whole road.
See, that feels like a horror movie to
It
me.
does.
Like you've
Just
stopped.
like rips
Yeah.
out these big wings, takes up the whole road. That
It's
is
a
pretty
demon.
disturbing.
That
Yeah.
that sounds like a demon to me.
And then again, it took off straight up into the air.
yeah, it didn't use the
It
wings.
wasn't like a flap for 5 seconds and finally lifted off.
Yeah, yeah.
It just like boom, gone.
Okay.
So-
Dude, that's so creepy. And I loved this piece that John Keel had put into the book. He says, like flying saucers, it delighted in chasing cars.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So like it had a thing with chasing, like it was like a game almost.
Let's see how fast I can go.
Yeah. These wings aren't for nothing. We're gonna get going. That's what Mothman sounds like, apparently.
Yeah.
But also they're saying that that's very unbird like. Birds don't like chase cars
Yeah, true.
for fun, right? And this
Or kill dogs.
or kill dogs. Well, and so this part kind of stood out to me too. And it says, and it seemed to have a penchant for scaring females who were menstruating.
Oh, yeah, that part's super important.
But apparently that's also a UFO / hairy monster thing
Yeah.
that they do as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Not only do they attract bears, they attract monsters.
They attract Mothmans and UFOs and extraterrestrials. So, anyways, so I want to talk.
That is an important part to
That
mention.
is, yeah. We can't let that go.
Listen, all of us go online daily, whether it be at home, at work, at the airport, and little did you know, you're not protected. But if you get a VPN from Surfshark, it can protect you and all of your devices from online threats. Go Gray Man Online. Basically, you can shield yourself and your information from websites and other online services. You don't have to worry about malware, phishing, or obnoxious emails. And often, you click on that unsafe ad, and it'll take you down that dark, dark road. That's the thing about Surfshark is it allows you to stay protected, and one subscription will protect all of your devices, which is pretty awesome. The other thing I really like about Surfshark is it allows you to stream content in a different country because you will connect to a different server. You can watch soccer in the UK, or you can watch Netflix in France, whatever you want to do, but it's pretty awesome. It keeps you safe, and you can use it for your own entertainment. Head to surfshark.deal/secret. Enter promo code SECRET for 86% off from 24 months plus 3 extra months for free. The other thing is it's fully refundable after 30 days. If you want to just try it out, see how cool it is, how well it works, they will give you your money back after 30 days. So go check them out. Again, that's surfshark.deal/secret and protect yourself online.
So let's talk about the Silver Bridge. John Keel, during the time that he was writing the Mothman prophecies, he was in and out of Point Pleasant like all the time.
Yeah.
And when he was there, he routinely teamed up with Mary Hyre.
Yeah.
And we talked about her earlier, but she was a journalist at the local newspaper, but she had kind of seen a lot of this stuff too. And I think
Tons of stuff.
I think Cam's going to talk about this a little bit later, but there was a lot of other things going on.
Yeah.
In Point Pleasant at the time. It's not just this Mothman
She was
thing.
getting bombarded with UFO sightings and man-like creature sightings, and then other weird things were happening in town.
There's so much stuff going on. And so he would routinely come and hang out with her, and they would go do their thing as they investigated, right? They would kind of do it together. They were a bit of a team. So he was out of town, and he came back. He was looking at some other UFO sightings. He came back to West Virginia. And during the drive in Point Pleasant, Hyre shared this dream that she had. And in the dream, it was a tragedy of a bunch of people drowning in the river.
Oh, she did have a dream like that.
Yeah, and in the dream, there was people drowning, and there was Christmas packages kind of strewn about in the water. And she's like, it just gave her this like foreboding, like impending doom type
It's a
feeling.
creepy dream.
It's a very creepy dream. And she just kind of felt like it was almost a premonition, which was creeping her out even more, obviously, you know. A dream like that is...
What do I think about this?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Is it just
interpret it in any
yeah.
way?
How do you interpret something like this? And so...
Her husband wouldn't listen.
Of course not. He was tired. He wanted to go to bed.
I don't want to listen to this story.
I got to work early at the
I want to tell you
grocery
about
store.
this. I don't. Sorry. I got to go to work.
So about a month later, Keel was watching TV at home. He lived, I think, in New York. And there was a breaking news brief, and they talked about a bridge that collapsed. And the location that they gave was Gallipolis, Ohio.
Yeah, that's what's connected to.
Yeah, and so he realized that is kind of the area, but it's actually the bridge that's in Point Pleasant that connects to Ohio.
Yeah.
That was the Silver Bridge. He'd crossed it a million times. He knew exactly what it was. And the event almost exactly mirrored Mary Hyre's dream about
That's
it.
terrifying.
Because it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
And there was all of these people on the bridge that when it went down, and everybody was doing Christmas shopping.
Ugh.
And so there were all these presents kind of floating in the river. How crazy is that? How creepy is that? In the book, there is an account given. So the time was 5:04 p.m., December 15th, 1966. So this was an account given about the bridge collapse. They said, steel screamed, the 700-foot suspension bridge twisted, and the main span split from its moorings at either end. Electric cables strung across the bridge snapped in a blaze of sparks. 50 vehicles crashed into the black waters of the Ohio, tons of steel smashing down on top of them. Mary Hyre was actually in the drugstore on Main Street waiting for the traffic to ease up so she could cross the bridge.
Oh, really?
Which she did every night because she went to the Gallipolis hospital and got the hospital notes for the next day for the newspaper. But it was all backed up, and there were so many people on the bridge because of the backup. That's why it went down. They're saying.
What hospital sharing news with
I don't know.
the...
I don't. Apparently, that was the thing they used to do back in the day. I don't know. There was
Here's all the people who came into ER.
yeah. Here's the medications they're taking.
Here's their diseases.
Here's the weirdos.
Put
and
it
what
in
they
the
got
paper.
Put
Bold.
it in the paper. Can you imagine? Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
I would honestly read that.
I would too.
That's something.
Oh man, John Smith has some.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay for that paper 100%. They said there was a sound like a jet plane or a plane going through the sound barrier, just like a big sonic boom, almost a rumbling roar that hurt your eardrums. Then the lights flickered, and her first thought was that something had blown up. But when she ran outside, someone had yelled, "The bridge collapsed."
Must have been the cable snapping or something.
Yeah, so the catastrophic failure resulted in the tragic deaths of 46 people.
Oh, that's a lot.
And actually sparked significant investigations into bridge safety and infrastructure maintenance across the United States. So this was actually a jump-started bridge safety concerns, which was good. At least something good came of it, right?
Yeah.
But it also added to the folklore surrounding the Mothman
Yeah.
and the sightings in the area, because a witness claimed that they saw the Mothman on the bridge,
Oh, really?
on the top of the bridge the day that it collapsed.
Well, that's
Right.
disturbing.
That is quite disturbing. And a lot of the folklore, people are saying that the sightings before the bridge collapse of the Mothman acted as a warning for this
Yeah,
tragedy.
they're like heavy and multiple, and then
Yes.
it
Yeah.
went pretty silent after
As
that.
soon as that happened, he was pretty much gone.
Yeah,
So a lot of people are blaming it, not necessarily blaming it on him, but
but that
saying
he was kind of a...
he was sort of like a harbinger, like, hey,
Exactly.
this is going to happen. I don't know how you would get that from him showing up and racing
Yeah.
cars, but that's what
Yeah.
they're saying, right? Stealing dogs
I'm
and
putting
racing
it
cars.
together.
Yeah.
Putting it together now.
You guys got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But actually, the Department of Transportation conducted a detailed investigation of the collapse. They found that the cause to be a small 0.1 inch deep defect on the 13th steel pin eye bar on the bridge that was improperly manufactured.
How do you figure that out?
0.1 inch.
Wow.
And that's what did it. So, anyways, the
I thought you were going to
silver.
say like mothballs.
no.
Or moth... Yeah.
No. So this was a huge piece of the whole Mothman legend, is the collapse of the Silver Bridge.
Yeah. That's
Huge.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, like Kobe was saying, Mary Heyer, again, she was pretty busy in town getting all this information,
She really
collecting
was.
people's medical records to share in the newspaper,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But another really weird thing was happening in town. Multiple witnesses claimed to have been visited by these men that were dressed up in a suit, black, black tie, white dress shirt, and
Kind of
a
like
suit coat.
we're wearing today.
Yeah,
A
very
bit.
much like that.
Very close to that. Yeah.
So, people described these men differently. Some of them said they looked like walking cadavers, like zombies, because they didn't have any expression on their face. They were very serious, and they just kind of walked around. They said they had really strange mannerisms, too, almost like they weren't normal humans, and they just kind of interacted with people really weird. But they were... Some people had said that they went up to him and asked him about if they'd heard anything about this Mothman. And they even told Mary Heyer herself that she needs to be quiet about it. She doesn't want to get involved in these things, which is super weird for this to be happening at the same time.
Right. This was a central piece to this book.
That talked about these men in black.
Yes, like it was a big piece that he was very concerned with throughout
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was not just here in Point Pleasant. It was across the country.
Starting to see more and more of these men.
Yeah, so I was wondering, like, was this where the Men in Black conspiracy sort of started? But it actually wasn't.
Okay, I wondered that too.
I looked it up, and they actually said it was in the early 40s when
That the men in black started to appear.
yeah,
And
that's when the sort of legend started. Was in the early 40s. You know, obviously 47 when all the UFOs started to hit. That was sort of where that started. But this was another big era for the Men in Black.
yeah, so they were definitely, I mean, it's not just Mary that mentioned seeing them. Multiple people had seen these men. They weren't checked in anywhere. They didn't know if they were selling things. And so it's just really odd that they were around town. Mary did tell one of her friends, Dottie Campbell, about interacting with these men. She's like, listen, Dottie, these men never blink. which is really weird.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Other people explained, kind of talked about these men as being good looking, heavily tanned, spoke fluent
tanned
English.
I saw that like a whole bunch. Like
Yeah.
they were almost like not dark skinned, but very tan. And I don't know if this is like a
So some
racist
said
thing
that.
from the West Virginians.
I don't know. And then others said that they're like transparent or pale.
Yep, I saw that
So
too.
super weird.
It's very hard to tell.
Very
I don't
weird
know.
selection of men going on in this Men in Black business.
Yeah.
So anyways, she did tell a really strange story that I thought I'd share about an encounter with one of these men.
Okay.
So she was working a very active weekend, receiving a bunch of calls, and this very short man comes into the office. He had long black hair that was cut squarely like a bowl cut. Super weird looking dude.
Sounds like a
She said
hipster or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he spoke in a low, halting voice, and he asked for directions to Welsh, West Virginia. She thought that he had some sort of speech impediment. For some reason, he terrified her.
How do I get to Wales, West Virginia? I don't even know what a halt. I don't know what that is.
I don't either. He kept getting closer and closer to me, she said, and his funny eyes were staring at me almost hypnotically.
He's like a close talker.
He's like, I'm trying to get to Welsh.
How do I get to Wales?
Yeah, so it sounded super.
Lady.
She was super alarmed by it. She was kind of uncomfortable, so she went and grabbed a coworker, to come out and talk to this man.
That's not obvious.
While she was talking to this man, this little man picked up a pen and was just looking at it really odd, like he's never seen a pen before on her desk.
Yeah.
So she said,
Yeah.
and she said he grabbed the pen and he laughed loudly and he ran out of the building. It's the weirdest encounter ever.
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
Yeah.
Right.
Several weeks later, Hire was crossing the street near her office and saw the man on the street. He appeared to be startled when he realized that she was watching him. He turned away and quickly ran for a large black car and that came around the corner, and he jumped in and they drove off.
With her pen.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So super weird encounter. He was on his own and just a creepo. But they did say very often that these men drove like Cadillacs.
Yeah, it was like those dark vehicles. I mean, really like the cars they drove
exactly
in Men in Black, the movie from the 90s.
Wasn't it a Crown?
It was like a Crown Vic or something, right?
Yeah.
But it was that style of a vehicle, I guess, from the 50s.
Yeah.
But
John Kill even had said like he would chase these men.
yeah,
He would go in an attempt to confront them and just kind of get more information from them. He had the local police in many towns looking for them. When he was in West Virginia and Ohio, people would call his hotel and tell him that the Men in Black were there, and he'd race over there and they'd be gone. He said when he started reporting information about them, he said they were driving Cadillacs, and it seemed as though they switched over to Volkswagens.
Oh, okay.
Which is like maybe they were trying to hide themselves from old John Keel.
We like German cars now.
One afternoon in the spring of '67, John Keel and a female friend were walking along 42nd and 3rd Avenue in New York when a stranger with a pointed face deliberately took a photo of them and ran away.
A pointed face?
Yeah. So he's thinking they were kind of studying him too. And
Right.
I don't know if the book kind of talked a little bit more.
They do
on
talk about that.
these,
Pointed face, though. Like, I don't know if I would ever describe anybody as having a pointed face.
pointed chin, maybe.
Yeah, or a pointed
His
nose.
faces come out like,
Yeah.
like those things during the plague.
Beetlejuice. Remember
Yeah,
Beetlejuice?
exactly.
Were they, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, anyways,
Sure.
super weird that the Men in Black kind of showed
Yeah.
up during this time as well.
Or is it weird?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
True.
that's exactly when they would show
weirdness
up.
is when they would show up, right? So some explanations of what this Mothman could be.
Yeah, I
you know,
would
a
love
lot of
to hear
people. There's a lot that just didn't believe that it existed.
Sure.
They're like, no, this didn't happen. Wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that the descriptions and sightings fit that of a sandhill crane,
You know what?
a large American crane. 7-foot wingspan.
We have sandhill cranes here.
Yeah.
I very often see. I saw one actually
they
this
are
week.
pretty obvious when they fly.
I've never
to me.
seen them with red glowing eyes.
No,
for one.
and they don't make a generator sound when they're flying.
Never heard
and
that.
they don't shoot off straight in the air.
Yeah. I don't know about that one, old Bobby Smith. I don't know.
Anyways, that was one explanation.
Okay.
And he said, man, the bird wandered out of its migration route.
Okay.
So yeah, unrecognized by the people of that area.
Sure.
Mason County Sheriff George Johnson, love that name,
I love
believed
that
the
guy.
sightings were due to an unusual large heron he termed the shite poke.
Shite poke.
It's probably
just
a
all
shite poke, man.
It's just all shite poke.
Yeah. So bird was
Yeah.
a big, people just think, they just had these thoughts and they were paranoid already, and they just witnessed a bird fly by.
Jeff Johnson, that's just his shape, folk.
Some more exciting explanations, more like paranormal theories,
Yes.
UFO connections, things like that. Soon after the Mothman's first appearance in November of 66, police found the body of a dog in the TNT area. And it was completely charred.
Yep.
I don't know if it was bandit. I hope not.
I hope not, because banded.
Yet the surrounding area wasn't burned. So it was almost like...
Just the dog.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
It had a small hole in its side, some reports said, and its heart was lying out next to it.
That's gross.
That was another report I found.
Yeah.
John Keel said, I wonder if it might not have been sacrificed in some secret magical ritual by some unknown local warlock. A ritual that brought Mothman into being.
I just love that he says some unknown local warlock. It's like not one of them known ones.
Pretty much everybody in town knows who's the warlock. So, yeah. Anyways.
That's a warlock ritual, I guarantee it.
Yep. He also, John Keel had a theory that took the Mothman saga to a whole new dimension.
Yes.
This one's crazy. So,
This one actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I give him this.
This makes sense for other monsters and
It
other
really
things.
does. Yes.
So,
yes.
he said maybe Mothman is ultra-terrestrial.
Yeah.
Keel coined this term. Imagine beings that don't just zip in from distant. Okay. Imagine beings that don't just zip in from distant planets, but they have always existed on Earth. It's kind of like War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
Something's
kind
been
of.
here, kind of like that, but
they're not
this
buried
is in
under
a
the
different
earth.
dimension, right?
Yes.
And these ultra-terrestrials remain hidden from our everyday perception like cosmic phantoms.
Yeah, man.
According to Keel, some UFO sightings and encounters might not involve extraterrestrials, but rather these elusive ultra-terrestrials playing tricks with our minds in the reality itself.
See, for me, this one, I'll take it.
Bigfoot kind of falls into that
I think so.
ultra-terrestrial.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why we
some
can't
people
get
are
good
like, he's
photos.
in a different dimension.
He's going in and out of dimensions.
So-
He's out, he's in, he's out, he's in. He can kind of,
Yeah.
it's in a little sexual here, but he can go in and out and do his thing. And that's why it's so hard to catch him and get photos of him and that sort of stuff. But maybe that's what the Mothman is. And he's coming in and out because he was trying to warn
So
us.
that's
of
Keel's
something.
term, huh?
Yeah.
Ultra-terrestrial.
Ultra-terrestrial.
So that one is hard to explain. But
Sure.
makes some sense, right?
Mhm.
The Mothman twist. Keel's Mothman wasn't just just flesh and blood creature. It was the bridge between dimensions. So
yeah. A
that's
silver
pretty
bridge.
crazy to me.
A silver bridge between dimensions.
Oh, is that what it said?
No, I was just,
Oh.
I was just adding that in there.
Other theories. Many locals believe the Mothman lived in the vacant nuclear power plant outside Point Pleasant, perhaps an escaped product of an experiment gone wrong.
Oh, so he's
So-
like a nuclear
Yeah.
animal.
They're like,
of some
let's-
sort.
Yeah, let's develop winged men, and this one got away.
That one. He flew away and he was chasing cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the start of a new Marvel movie that's coming out.
That's I could see that though. I'd watch that one. That one
Mothman
sounds
might
way
be
cool.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, that's
Man,
that's some people believe it's just a bird. Others,
not
like
so
Keel,
much.
came from another dimension.
So let's talk about maybe the pop culture impact that Mothman has had, on the culture at large. And this one right here, this book, The Mothman Prophecies, written in 1975, this was the biggest piece of it, and this is kind of what started it all. So this book,
What a time to have a job like Keel's.
oh my gosh, it was like
It's like,
peak
which story
time.
do I start with?
Yeah. Which crazy thing do I chase around? And he really did. And that's one of the things about this book is I started reading this thinking that I was going to get a super in-depth look at
Of
the Mothman.
itself, huh?
Like,
but it
that's-
was more.
But probably about a quarter of this book is Mothman.
Yeah.
The rest of it is like this sort of manic writing from episode to episode and like I was over here looking at this UFO. I was over here. There was UFOs here. There was Men in Black chasing me on this side, and then there was Mary Hire and me. And it's just very manic. It was fun to read. I'm not gonna lie. If you like this stuff, this is like great because it's short, digestible little stories. There's not a lot of connection to it. Is the only hard part. Like again, people
But
like
a lot
this.
going on in West Virginia or the East Coast anyway.
People like John Keel, they're very they're manic. They're just like they can't focus, and he definitely could not focus in this book at all. So, but it was really, really fun. And so a lot of people are like, "Well, how valid is this? How valid
for
are
sure.
the things?"
Always a question with these things.
Yeah, and why wouldn't there be? So there was some water thrown on his fire back in 2002. So let's talk about that. There were some private letters exchanged between John Keel and Gray Barker. He was a UFO researcher. And that kind of adds another layer to all of this. They had correspondence back and forth for a long time, and most of it was during the time where he was writing this book and involved in these investigations. But the private letters reveal insights into their thoughts, discussions, and even some of the disagreements they had about the Mothman phenomenon. And in the May-June issue 2002 of Skeptical Inquirer, journalist...
Can I still subscribe to that?
I don't know. I would love to if it is out there still. I'm sure it's not, but it would be great. Journalist John C. Sherwood published an analysis of these letters. And so Sherwood had business association with Gray Barker, meticulously examined the content of the letters. His findings raised questions about the accuracy of Keel's accounts in the first book. Sherwood reported discovering significant differences between what Keel wrote during his investigation and what he later included in the book, The Mothman Prophecies.
Oh.
Yeah, so
he wasn't consistent.
Yeah, he wasn't very consistent. So these discrepancies kind of hint, at the complexities of his story, but also some of these details evolved over time, kind of leaving room for speculation about,
sure.
Is this true? Is this guy just...
Maybe he got flashed by the men in black.
Who knows? That's the whole thing.
He erased some memories and he's starting to get them back.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the biggest things in pop culture was this book. And it's been popular since 1975, still going strong. The other one, 2002, the film, The Mothman Prophecies, loosely based on this book.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's not.
They didn't really stray too far from this story specifically. So the main character, Richard Gere, is supposed to be John Keel. John
Is
Keel,
he really?
Yeah, John Keel was a journalist. He wasn't the type of journalist that Richard Gere was in the movie.
Yeah.
In the movie, he was a serious, political journalist of some sort, right? And he was married.
Better resume.
Way better resume. He's like, you make sure that he's got a real good resume on there.
Make sure people believe this.
Yeah. But in the movie, he was married to Deborah Messing, and she dies, right? I don't know if you remember this. Spoiler alert, if you haven't
It's been
seen
a while,
this.
and I meant to watch it, but I
Yeah.
just haven't again.
So anyways,
I remember it creeping me out when I watched it in high school.
that was probably the biggest thing about... It's not a horror movie. It's really a movie that just sort of... It's ominous. It's creepy. Has a lot of tension throughout the film.
It seems like an M. Night Shyamalan type of movie.
Yeah, it kind of has that
because
feel
it has that
a bit.
story that's kind of deeper.
Yeah, and Richard Gere is Richard Gere. I don't think he's a great actor, to be honest with you. I feel like he plays the same character in every movie.
Yeah.
It's like you put this guy in...
kind of a blunt,
what is
kind
it?
of a blunted...
What is he in? My Best Friend's Wedding or something? Same guy,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Just in West Virginia, the other one's somewhere else, right? But there are some different
First
layers.
Night?
First Night, yeah.
He's pretty good in that.
Sure, yeah. I haven't seen that in a million years. But there are some things that they added, like obviously him being a legit journalist, his wife being central to the story. Mary Heyer was in it, but she was the sheriff in the movie, and not the newspaper
Well, John
journalist.
Keel's mess of a story, so
Yeah,
you don't know who she was.
They couldn't keep track of everything that was going on. But it's if you're into the Mothman, it's worth a watch. If you haven't seen it, if you're into the Mothman, I assume you've seen this already. But it's worth a watch.
It's
Worth a watch, right? The other thing is the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant. Every single year they have a festival.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures. I would love to go to it.
100%.
It looks super cool.
I would love to go.
Point Pleasant looks amazing.
Looks like
anyway.
a great place, really.
Yeah.
So that has guest speakers, has live music, cosplay contests, obviously, guided tours to Mothman related sites, vendor booths, all that kind of stuff. So that's a really cool thing that happens every single year in Point Pleasant. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you really, hold on?
Oh,
to
I'd
this?
bank on that, especially a small town like
Small
that.
town like that's probably the only thing that
We got
keeps
the
them going.
Mothman.
Exactly. So those are kind of some of the things in pop culture to look
That's
at
cool.
with Mothman.
Yeah. So, so is it over? Has
Yeah.
there been any more Mothman sightings or anything like that?
I don't know.
Actually, yes, there has been.
Okay.
There's been some that some believe might be some Mothman appearances. So he's been, like we were saying, he's been linked to the harbinger of doom, kind of like
Yeah.
he's going to show up and then something bad's going to happen due to its alleged appearance preceding tragic events, most notably the collapse of the Silver Bridge that we just discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Some believe the sightings of the Mothman serve as an ominous warning or of impending disasters. So, Recent sightings.
He's almost like a prophet.
Yeah.
Right?
So other examples of Mothman being associated with calamity includes reports of its sightings prior to the Chernobyl disaster in 1986 and also prior to 9/11 attacks. I couldn't find any of these, but
I know those are hard to find. But
yeah,
it's interesting.
it's like once he appears, I mean, that's the last thing you should be scared of is him. It's what's to come.
Yeah.
So scary stuff. Recent sightings: Point Pleasant, 2016. A man driving along State Highway 2 saw a large bird-like creature jumping from tree to tree. So he pulled off. He captured a few pictures and a video that you can actually look up on the internet.
Oh,
now.
really? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I need to check that out.
July 2017, a Chicago man stepped outside of a building to have a smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's standing there, he sees a man-like figure standing on top of Willis Tower. So pretty significant,
Sure,
pretty
yeah.
hard to miss. Then it jumped and its wings emerged and it flew out of sight. Just after this, multiple sightings started to pop up in Chicago.
So I did see some video from Chicago.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've had a couple of series, I think, on like History Channel.
Yeah.
About the Mothman and different appearances. But there's been 55 plus reported sightings of Mothman in Chicago between 2011 and 2020.
What that tells me is you should not live in Chicago because
something
bad's
coming,
happening,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
so that's
cool
crazy.
that there's still some sightings though, and still some
Yeah.
like man creature thing with wings.
Yeah,
Scary stuff.
it is scary. So let's talk about what's our favorite thing about this.
Yeah.
For me, when I look at the Mothman legend after doing all this research, there's the sheer volume of sightings. There's just so many of
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Right? A lot of these types of legends and stories, there's like one or two,
Yeah.
and that's where the whole thing builds up from. But we have like hundreds almost that are documented, like literally documented. They have tapes of confessions from people at Point Pleasant that are, not confessions, I guess, but interviews of people talking about this, right? And then at the end of this whole thing, the Silver Bridge collapses. The people die, and so it's sort of like cements it into the folklore, into the reality of what is Point Pleasant and the Mothman legend.
Yeah.
Right? It's like in their history. It just feels more real because
Same.
of the tragedy at the end.
Yeah, just the other explanations just don't fit,
Yeah.
when they're like, oh, it's a large bird. People have lived there forever,
Yeah.
and they recognize these birds. It's just weird for them to just all of a sudden explain the creature the same way
Yeah.
and in different locations at different times,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just stops after the catastrophe. I mean, that's
Yeah.
too real to me. That's too.
It's weird.
It doesn't seem made up at all,
No, it doesn't.
Something was happening. Some people experienced this for sure. I believe that.
Yeah. And I just feel bad for Bandit in the end.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
Sounds like he got his heart pulled out by the warlock.
The local warlock pulled out his heart.
There ain't much worse
No.
to happen to your dog than to have the
Really?
unknown warlock in town
Gosh.
try and bring Mothman into the whole.
That's the worst part of the whole story. This Bandit going down by a local warlock.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
But hey, if you're not menstruating,
Yeah.
don't worry about
If
it.
you're not menstruating, go down to Point Pleasant and check it out.
Yeah.
See what
That's pretty
goes
cool.
on.
I like that stuff.
Yeah.
That one. I mean, I believe people saw it.
Yeah.
And I want to go there and see it for myself.
I believe people believed they saw it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm a skeptic
saw
at heart.
something.
They
Yeah,
saw
for sure.
something. Something chased him. Bandit's dead. That's all I know for sure, that Bandit didn't make it through.
Yeah.
Pretty sad about that. Well, anything else on the Mothman, Cameron?
No.
You got it.
No. Watch out. If you see him, like I said,
Yeah.
other things are coming.
Other things are coming. So that's all we have today. But guys, remember, don't tell anyone what you just heard, because
Exactly.
this podcast is a secret.